Testing. Alright guys, so my name is Rykard and today I am going to tell you that yes, you are indeed making excuses, but you can really push forward. So let's begin. I want to start this by mentioning a story that I have lived. So all my life I have been struggling with my emotions, my environment, all these type of things. And I usually thought that those things would hold me back, but I figured out that is what I've been telling myself. I've been called lazy, I've been called many things actually. Fat is one of them. But if I really wanted, I could really learn in a fraction of the time others would. All my teachers and the adults in my life told me the same thing on repeat. He has the brain, just not the hunger. He could, but he doesn't. That has been fed up to me all my time. That I could, but I don't. Because I'm lazy, because I don't have enough discipline, all that type of stuff. So that's how I lived up until this point. Just reacting to things around me. Never actually giving in my all. And just like that, 20 years passed by. Okay, so that was with the story. Now I'm going to tell you how I got my high school final exam and how I studied for it in the last 3 months to show you that you can do whatever you want if you put in the work for it. I just started 12th grade with the stress that I would have to take my final exam and that it was the last year of high school. So I thought I would be fine and left it off for a couple of months. Well, by the time I have woken up, there were only 3 months until the final exam, so I was stressed the fuck up. That relaxed state broke, finally, when my father realized that I wasn't really studying for my exams and was just goofing off. And he stared at me and said, "Are you ready for your exam?" I told him, "Sure." That conversation lasted 6 weeks straight, until the point I made a bet with him because I was angry at him. If I could get the final exam with an okay grade, he will have to get me the money for a PC. But if I don't, I will have to go with him for the rest of the summer to the countryside to work on Grandpa's farm on the 30 degrees Celsius heat for every single day for the summer. He agreed with the terms, and once he left, I got hit with the painful realization that I might have hyped myself a little bit too much and that I have only 3 months left to study all of the material for my final exam. So how did I do it? First, I was still in school at the time, so I tried to ask my teachers for help. But I shortly realized that the rate they were teaching me was no way near enough, so I decided to take control of everything and study all the material myself. Basically, I became my own teacher. Now, it was kinda hard, I must tell you that. You have to constantly fight with yourself about the things that you want to do, with the things that you need to do. So I knew I had to change my strategy a bit so that I can get it. First, I asked my homeroom teacher to change my subject of choice to logic. Now this was a risky move, because I haven't studied logic since the 10th grade. But I heard that it was far less complicated and shorter than geography, so I've taken it. Then of course, I had to study, but there came a problem. Because I was so gamified and starved for low dopamine, I can't really sit still on the chair and learn a lot of things. I can't even do that if I really wanted to. So how do I solve this problem? I tried a lot of methods, doing just 5 minutes of it and then I would magically like it, giving myself rewards after completing the task. But I found out a combo of methods that helped me. Putting time trigger, like an alarm clock, on the beginning of the studies, and while I was studying I would put some music so I can have my mind focused on the task without needing TikTok breaks. This worked just fine for math and repetitive tasks like logic, where you just have to do the formulas. But how do you do this when you need to create? Another problem was with my main language, Romanian. I had to read about 15 books and get the raw ideas from them so I could just write them on the piece of paper in the middle of the exam. Well, I managed to read 12 books unfortunately, but I was lucky and got the one I studied the night before the test. For the 12 books I a method called the Mind Palace, popular in series like Sherlock Holmes and The Mentalist. Essentially, you imagine in places that you already been in real life, images that mean something, like a specific code. The weirder the image was, the better, because you could have remembered it. But in order to really do this, like I'm doing this video right now, you need intrinsic motivation. If you really don't want to do it, you will not do it. Simply enough. My intrinsic motivation came from my ego. I wanted to show all of the people who doubted me wrong. I came in first place with a score of 7.58. From 22 people, 9 gave the final exam and only 5 graduated, with me on the top. I was an average student all of my years of high school, but when everyone relaxed and said, "Oh, we don't need a high score for the exam," I came in and stole the spotlight. And that is how I achieved my success. I hope you liked my story and learned something from it. Be sure to give a like, and I'll see you on the next one.